And y'all don't know what I went through.
Do you have a cart in your hands right now?
Nike Talk was that place that spiraled what you enjoy now.
Anyone who brought a Kobe shoe in, I would clean it for free.
Man, Melo was better than a lot of people in the league.
I saw that. My favorite jersey's that one, the Barkley.
Kobe fours.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 34. This is the Dandin and RJ Machismo podcast. This is Dandin.
This is RJ Machismo. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, y'all? So first and foremost, we just want to say thank you to everybody for supporting us for our 1 year on June 17th. We know from me and RJ, we appreciate like all the love, all the support, the greetings, the reposting of our shirts. It was overwhelming, like when we see all those people like just rocking with us, man.
I know, man. That was great.
I was like, what was your reaction, RJ, when you saw it?
Yeah, I was excited, man. Like seeing all those shirts and seeing our names on the shirts. It's crazy, man. Like, it came a long way, bro.
Oh yeah. Like I said, all this started with just me and RJ just talking just on the phone, man. Then that just started just talking now, like podcasting and just recording it live on the YouTube. So
yes, sir.
All right, so we're gonna do a new segment tonight. It's called Story Time. So basically, a lot of people want to know, like, the different type of sneakers that we collect. So we're gonna start off with RJ tonight. We're gonna showcase him. So if you guys don't know about RJ, people, I'm sure people from DMV knows. So RJ, is a big Nike Air Foamposite One, Foamposite Pro collector.
Yes, sir.
So his collection, in my opinion, was like one of the best as far as quality, and I would probably say you can mix in with the quantity, because when you have the quality, you have the quantity, right?
Yeah.
As far as like where you collected over the years. So we're gonna showcase RJ with his Foamposite Pro, Foamposite One collection, and he'll I'll be the one like asking him questions, and and it'll be like a nice way for him.
Be a cool segment,
exactly. A lot. It'll be something new that you haven't even like thought, like you haven't like heard of, stories that how he got certain sneakers, the most difficult sneakers that he collected. So yeah, man. So we're gonna start off with what got you into collecting Foamposites?
For me, man, to be honest, what would you just being from obviously where you were from before the DMV, Foamposite was like the staple shoe for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You see almost like the old heads just wearing the foams. Like you see it everywhere, back in the day, at least, whenever it was popping. So, it just made me, like want them and get them. And then I realized that watching NBA basketball, Penny Hardaway, he was one of the guys that actually, made it famous, obviously, the Penny Foamposite. So, and it was just there. I mean, it just kicked off from there. And then my sister bought me the 2002 Pearls, and I just fell in love. I fell in love from there, man. It was crazy. The Pearls is clean.
Yeah.
Especially the 2002. So I was like, man, I just fell in love.
Orange box boys, right? Orange box boys.
Orange box, orange and the brown box.
So what was like your first reaction when your sister bought you those pearl Foamposite Pros?
I mean, I was surprised, to be honest with you. I mean, she was just like, here's your gift for your birthday. It was September 2002 when I got those shoes. So
wow, 19 years ago, bro.
Yeah, exactly. The 02 joints. It was wild, man.
So like I know, like you said, Penny Hardaway, when you first saw him in watching the NBA games, what was your reaction like when you saw that pair like on TV? Like, did you knew like more what those sneakers were like through like
to be honest with you, I didn't know. It was more so like, oh, those are tight. What are those?
Mm-hmm.
till I actually started like asking people, like asking like my cousin what they were, and then he told me what they was. Like, oh, those are Foamposites, and then he showed me the East Bay magazine. I was like, oh shit, those are Foamposites. You know what I'm saying? And, like, it was the blue joints, and I think that time, I think it was still like what one. It was what 180, right? It was always like 180
I
or
think it was like
160.
the first. I remember it was like 199 or
Oh shit!
189. Yeah, it was the Foamposite ones. If I can recall, it was the first Nike $200 shoe ever.
Oh, okay.
So like
Yeah,
that was when we're like, damn man, like you look at it, East Bay is like 199.99 or
yeah,
189.99. So that was like
yeah. I
at that
think it was
time, yeah.
189. Yeah,
That was at that time, right? That was the most expensive shoe, right?
yeah, it was. Yeah, and I was like, why is it so expensive?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What
Yeah.
made it so expensive, right?
Yeah. And
So
like to us, right, we didn't know like why is these sneakers so expensive? So I guess during that technology, right? Like the Foamposite
yeah,
technology,
yeah,
the carbon fiber plate, the translucent soles, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
those play like a big part as far as like the origins of like the sneaker. And then, of course, like before Penny Hardaway wore them, we remember like Mike Bibby wore them in the NCAA like championship game against Kentucky.
yeah. I seen pictures. Like, I wasn't hip at
Yeah,
that time, to be honest with you, because growing up, man, I didn't have cable.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I only saw Penny on like NBA Showtime on Channel 4. So
yeah,
that's the only time I actually saw him. But yeah, like, yeah, Mike Bibby wore him. Um, and it was tight. It was clean with those jerseys. It was like
oh yeah,
navy blue Arizonas.
yeah. So it was
Yeah,
crazy, right? Because like Mike Bibby at that time, right? Like he was only a freshman in college. So
yeah,
imagine like when a lot of NBA players, not NBA players, a lot of collegiate athletes, they would match the jerseys, right, with
yeah. They had
the
team
sneakers.
shoes.
No, but like Mike, I think Arizona was like one of the few teams that wore whatever they want. Like
Yeah,
they had that dude, that center that was wearing Air Force Ones, man. I was just like, that's crazy. You know how uncomfortable that shoe is?
right. Only him and Sheed probably wore
It's
those joints.
crazy, right? Like remember you saw like Miles Simon wearing those Air Up Tempo 97s?
Yeah,
Crazy. And then, it was just like it's a cult hit. Like everybody just remembered like what they wore during that time. So, you know, yeah, like for you, like you saw like Penny Hardaway wearing them, and then you said your sister got them for you. At what point? I know like when you were wearing them. So what was like when you wore them to like school? What was the feedback that you got from like your friends and like your classmates?
to be honest with you, man, it was one of those shoes that I was like I was hesitant to wear them because the clear sole. I was the type of dude that wanted to preserve my shoe, right? I wanted to keep it fresh, but eventually I started wearing them. I had to pick out like an outfit. It was I don't know. I wore it with this N1 shirt. It was like white and red and black, and then like I know my dudes from high school know this shirt. And if something says like something about your moms or something, like I know, like those N1
Yeah,
shirts,
they were
like it
wild
had like
back
a
in the day,
slogan.
bro.
Yeah, it had
Yeah.
those slogan in the back. It was white, black, and red. I think it was like with Maryland Terps or something like that. But I wore it with that, and I wore it with like some Nike swooshy pants. So I was like, oh shit, I felt
Wow.
like I was fresh, but it was baggy as shit too.
And I'm sure you wore with the pinwheel, the pinwheel fitted, right? The NBA joint.
I think I had an Atlanta Hawks joint. It
Oh, I
was
know
like
that. I
white,
know that fitted.
yeah, the white, red, and yellow
Yeah,
joint with the white.
there
So
you go.
I mean, it was fresh, like the reception was like, damn, those are fresh,
Yeah,
because it's the pearls, man. The pearls will always catch attention,
right.
no matter where you wear it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's
Yeah,
one of the most, you know, like eye-catching foam posits, right? I mean, I don't know if you could agree with that, but in my opinion, it is because I mean it's white. You know what I'm saying? Like
oh yeah,
it's crazy.
it's
So
up there. Like a lot of people remember the phone pauses from He Got Game, right, with
you get a
with
game,
Ray
yeah,
Allen when
yeah,
he was sitting at that bench, waiting for his girl like
yeah,
at Coney Island. So a
yeah,
lot of people were like, man, what are those? Like, what are those phone posits?
yeah,
And then, a lot of people didn't know, Tim Duncan wore them in the 98,
yeah,
97, 98 All-Star game.
Yeah.
and they were fresh.
Yeah.
It was crazy fresh because
Yeah.
I know during that time, a lot of NBA players weren't wearing Foamposites
Yeah.
because it was uncomfortable.
It was a big
And
man shoe at that
exactly,
time. Yeah.
exactly, and right, it was one of those sneakers that had to mold your feet,
To your feet. Yeah.
right? So it took you a while. Like it's stiff in the beginning for you to like wear it a couple, several times, but the more you wear them, the more they get comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
let me
like,
tell you what though, like my pearls, was a size 11. You know,
damn.
it was crazy because, it was a sophomore year for me. I was a 9.5. I was growing. Obviously I'm a 10 right now, but I thought I was gonna grow more. So, I bought them at size 11. I was like, all right, I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna grow more, and my feet's gonna grow. I was like, nah, man, I only grew like a half size more. So from a 9.5 to 10, yeah, I stayed at 10. But I wore it with 2 socks. So, it was just one of them things. But so it couldn't mold in my feet, to how it's supposed to be. Because, it's true to size or half size up. It'll mold to your feet. But, it was one of those shoes that, like I said, I didn't wear it a lot anyway. It was one of those things that I wanted to preserve for the long run. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's one of those shoes that will mold to your feet.
That's wild. So I never knew that there were like almost
Size
two
11.
sizes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's
It's crazy.
crazy. So how
It
did
was just, it was just one of those things that I thought I was gonna grow. I think it was
yeah.
just me, my friends. We're like, yeah, we're gonna get our shoes like either a half size up or
Yeah.
because we're gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was
Right.
something weird. It was weird. So
No, that's cool, man.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. So like brick, taking it back in the day in high school, right? Did your friends like wore foam pauses? Did they catch on the wave, or were you like one of the few in high school that was wearing them at that time?
With my friends, my classmates, well, in the Filipino, community there, I think it was me. I remember there's this little side story with me and Robert Jet Boy. We actually went to the mall in St. Charles, and it was when Champ Sports was doing this little. It was like it was a deal that they had, right? You buy two.
Oh, I know what you're
And,
talking about.
yeah, right. I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. I couldn't
It's
like,
like
but
buy one get one half off kind of thing.
something like something like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
we bought the Pro Bs, the foam posit, the black and the blue and black joints
yeah,
with the black swoosh, and we bought it. And we just paid like 100 each. We asked his mom to like I guess use a credit card or something, but we went
yeah.
half of them joints. So yeah, he wore them. Angelino, one of my guys, he wore them too. I think those are the main guys that probably wore them the most from what I can remember.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's yeah. There's a few people, but I don't know. For me, it was just one of those things. I was like, I hope they come up with more colors because I just fell in love with them. You know, so
That's awesome, man. So like, have you ever hooped in foam posits?
oh man, I don't think I have, to be honest with you. From what I can remember, I did do flight posits, but not no foam posits. My first FABA games, I actually hooped in the flight posit, the eggplant joint. So, but foam
Wow.
posits, I just couldn't for some reason. I don't know. It was just so coveted to me. I don't know why.
Yeah. I think maybe it is the clear soles, right? You didn't want it.
That for the pearls, and I
Yeah.
guess just being it was a size 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird, man.
I don't know how
So,
bro. I don't know how you did it. Like, did you
yeah,
wear two socks every time
yeah,
you
two
wore them?
socks every time I wore them. Yeah,
Wow.
it was something crazy, man.
That
People
is
ain't know that, but
that is crazy. That is
that's a
crazy.
that's a reveal right there.
Oh man, yeah, that's a gem, man. So like after the pearls, and then I'm assuming you did get the you got, I guess, as you got you know older and you started working, you started, I'm sure you wanted to get, you wanted to know more about like the foam posits, right?
Yeah.
Like what were like the first original Foamposite Pros? Can you tell us like the ones that you were able to cop, for your collection, and you know what I'm leaning towards too. Like we're talking about the Foot Action exclusive, the Foot Locker exclusive ones.
Yeah. Well, let me put it this way. Let me just let me just put it in like in order of what I got first.
Okay.
Obviously the pearls, and then we went on. I got the Pro Blues. So it was called the Pro B. You know, the blue and black.
Yep.
And then I got the red joints, the red and black. And then eventually, for some reason, I don't know how I got the all black ones because I had like 3 different pairs of the black ones. It was weird.
Wow.
I think I got the first one on eBay, and then I traded with somebody, or I think he just gave them to me. It was one of my classmates from like art class.
Oh, damn.
So I did have 3 pairs of those, and then when they came out again, remember when the all black came back out again?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I finally got that in my size. So
Wow.
those were the first 4. Those were the first 4 main pairs that I had, and I had it for a long time. And eventually, like, you know, after being on Nike Talk and Soul Collector forums, I was a member of that too. I just did more research in them. You know, I was just like, how can I get my hands on, you know, Foot Action and the Foot Locker exclusive? For people that didn't know, the Foot Action exclusive was the Volts. And then the Foot Locker one was the gum sole. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously I don't have them now, but I mean, you know, I have receipts as far as my pictures.
Oh yeah, we got proof, bro.
Yeah. So, you know, a quick story on those and how I got those. I was so determined. With the Foot Locker ones with gum sole, I was actually on eBay almost, I don't want to say every day, but I was every day. I was like pretty much almost every other night. I was on eBay trying to search for them joints. And I was successful. And I had, like I said, I had 3 pairs of those too. Because the first 2 I got, it was not fresh. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was worn. Like I wanted like a truly dead stock pair. So the first 2, it was just like I kept them. You know, I got them for cheap. At that time, I probably spent like $120 for both. Yeah. And I kept it for a while. You know, like the type of dude I was, like I'll buy a shoe and I'll just keep it. I don't really like boast about it. You know, especially at that time. I mean, you know, we didn't have like social media, right?
Yep.
You know, it was just one of those things like, especially like in high school, it was just like when we get shoes, we're like, all right, we're going to keep it. I'm not going to tell nobody. I'm just going to come out with like a fresh outfit the next day and surprise you. That's how we roll, you know, in high school. So, you know, but yeah, I got the first 2. And then after a while, I finally found like a good pair, a dead stock pair, also on eBay. Like I was always on eBay, man. I'm like, you know, like right now my rating is like, it's crazy. You know, I'm like a trusted seller, like with like almost 600 feedbacks. But yeah, I paid about, I think $300 for a dead stock pair. And, you know, most of the times, you know, those dead stock pairs, you know, the glue in the bottom, it would come off, but my joints, it was just like, it was still intact. So after that, I was like, all right, I got this now. So I sold the other 2, you know, to make my money back, right? And it was funny because when I did sell the other 2, I kind of mixed up like my shipping. So I sent the other dude, you know, it's like pretty much I mismatched, like, you know.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, because some of them was like the sole was already separating. So
oh, snap.
So I don't even know. I don't know how I recovered from that. I don't know if there was a dispute or anything, but I got it sorted out. But, you know, I like I said, I made my money back for that, long story short. And then after that, I was like, all right, now it's time for the votes. Let's try to get the votes. So I was like same thing, eBay again. And it was a seller in Japan. I forgot the name of the eBayer, but it was one of those famous eBayer.
Yeah.
That came from Japan, and I got the votes for this is probably the most I ever spent at that time with like having a job at Popeyes, like $450, because the 50 was the shipping, so it was 400 plus the $50 shipping.
Yeah, because it gonna have to go through like customs, right?
Yeah. And you know, like that box, I mean, you saw the picture, the box had like a USPS.
Yep.
But I mean, it was double boxed. But I guess when he got it, they shipped it in the box. So, like I said, long story short, again, that's how I got it. It came from Japan, from one of those eBay sellers, and I was like, shit, man. I was like, I'm not wearing these joints.
What?
Well, I eventually did. Like, I took it out for a picture, but eventually, I know, you know, it was an old ass shoe at the time. I think it was like what 2008 when I got those finally, or 2007. So 1997 to 2007, that was already like how many years?
10 years?
Yeah, that's 10 years. So it was a 10-year-old shoe at the time. So yeah, that was like probably the biggest accomplishment I had being a sneakerhead, foam head at that time. So yeah, it was crazy, man. I was it was like a blessing to me to find that because like you know I didn't have that much shoes, but I was like that's like my arsenal right there. You know,
Yeah.
having that shoe because you know foam posits was like this shit back then.
Oh, it's
I
honestly,
mean,
even though it died down a little bit, it's yeah, it's like certain people, right? A
yeah,
lot of
certain people.
certain
It's a
people.
still a small community, or
Hmm.
you know, it's still a community
There
out there.
is, there
Yeah,
is. Believe me.
yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to the homie Ricky. He was listening to like the Knucklehead podcast with Q Rich and D Miles, and I think they had like Ray Allen, and they talked about like the Foamposite pearls,
Mhm.
and then he just basically sparked the like, hey man, like we started talking about foams, and he was telling me, hey, like I want to know because you're from the DMV, like what is that like, like, and I had to explain to them, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
It's an all weather shoe, winter, spring, fall, summer.
yeah. It's
You
a
wear that
boot,
thing.
pretty much.
It's a boot, pretty much. And it's heavy as hell,
Yeah,
but it's durable.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They can be scratched up. They could be wet. They could be in snow.
Anything.
Yep.
Bricks. They call it
In
what they call
mud.
bricks now. They're bricks now.
Yeah, now they're bricks. People
Yeah,
hate the foams. It's always
yeah, yeah,
uncomfortable.
yeah.
But you have to have a certain passion for
Yeah, it's a
collecting.
mindset to me too,
Yep.
you know, because, you know, styles changed over the years, right? As
Yep.
far as like, you know, the way you dress. And now I think one of the reasons why it kind of died down is because, you know, the style of dress, you know, like how the outfits are now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Wow. So let me ask you this, RJ. Of the two foam posits that you collected, the originals, right? The gum bottom foam posits,
yeah,
and then the Volt Foamposite Pros.
yeah.
Which one do you choose out of the two as your top one?
Oh, man. For you said the Foot Locker or the Foot Action?
Yep. Which one?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Foot Locker, honestly, because you know it's like the stealth shoe, right? And I mean, I know the Volts is like super coveted, right? Yeah, it's like the most rare foam posit, but just from like my journey, I like it was harder to get for the Foot Locker exclusive. The Volts were easy because like it was just a dude just put them out, and I was like, oh shit, it's right there, and I just caught it. But the Foot Locker exclusive one, that was just like a journey. Like the stuff that I had to go through to get that, it was just crazy. So, and the way they look too, you know, I mean, you can't go wrong with just like all black shoe, and then just have the gum bottom. And
Yeah.
then most gum bottom shoes, they actually look like, you know, it's like brownish.
Yep.
Mine was still kind of like white a little bit, you know. I mean, so I mean they're clean, man. So I think I'll have to go with the Foot Locker exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We definitely gonna, we'll probably post like your pictures just for
I mean, it's
evidence.
there. It's in the
It's
archive.
there.
Yeah.
It's in the
Yeah.
archives, man.
Yeah.
We're not telling any like, we're not telling any lies, or this is not.
Oh yeah, we got
It's
receipts,
all
bro.
facts, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we got receipts, man.
There's a picture in RJ's Instagram. He lined up all his foam posits.
I got the video too.
Pros, yeah, video. You got
Yeah.
pros. You even got like the they're considered pauses, like the half cents.
The half cents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I think you posted your flight posits too, right?
Yeah.
Your flights. That flight pauses, we'll do another story time with that.
Yeah.
That's another time and another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, foam posits, that craze, I believe, from the late 90s to like the early to mid 2000s, and even like the late 2000s. My opinion, that was like the hype of like foam posits, right?
It was.
Yeah, right. So I remember, right? Um, there was also two coveted pairs that we were looking for, and you probably know where I'm leaning towards too. It's the eggplants and the coppers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was crazy. I
Yeah.
remember me and RJ, we camped out at a downtown locker room in Eastover,
Yeah. Yeah.
near RJ's house. So the routine was I pick him up since he's literally
Right there.
2 minutes, literally a minute away from from DTLR.
DTLR Eastover
So
Shopping
like,
Center.
yeah, so like this is back then where no one was backdooring. There's no, no pre-orders. You just do it like the old-fashioned way, just line up, first come, first serve.
Yeah,
So RJ would ask the manager, became friends with the manager, right? Because
yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
he knew like what you got, so kind of like, all
yeah,
right, I'll drop you some info.
yeah.
So he kind of had to like get his respect, so that way he
Oh
can
yeah,
help you out.
yeah.
Yeah, and he even knew us. I remember he knew us by name, bro. Like that's how like crazy it
I
was.
know it
Hey,
was wild.
what's
Yeah,
up, Dan? What's up, RJ? Like,
yeah,
damn, you here
yeah.
again? And you coming back next Saturday? Like, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So what was the first? Was it the eggplants that came out first?
Shit, I think it was eggplants.
So
The-
do you remember that? Do you still remember that time that I think when we caught them?
yeah, you gotta tell me because all I know from that morning, I think we went to like McDonald's or some shit like that. And we were just
Yeah.
there was a McDonald's right in front of my house. It was crazy. So we were just chilling there before the release day. So I mean, the release time. So
It
and
was like in
I think it
November.
was an easy cop.
It was
Yeah,
an
it was
easy
something
cop,
easy.
but there were
Yeah.
people lining up though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
1 and 2. You were 1,
Yeah.
of course.
We always had to be early.
Yeah. So that was cool, right? Because like that was at the time where eggplant everything was like, everybody wanted like purple flight posits, purple foam posits.
Yeah, I think that's where
Purple.
it came from. The purple flight posit. That's
Yep.
what made. They're like, oh shit, a purple foams.
Yeah, and it's crazy, right? I think I remember it was Wale. Wale blew that up.
Yeah,
I remember he put that thing on. Remember he put that thing on the top of his head.
yeah, I remember that.
Just as a flex. I was like,
Yeah.
oh damn! Like he broke the
Mhm.
internet, man. Because
Yeah,
Wale was also a big Foamposite guy, man. From the DMV. So he always had the sample pairs that, like he couldn't, that no one can get except for
Yeah.
him.
yeah,
And this is way before having plugs, because he's a real like OG like sneaker collector,
oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
So props to
He was
Wale.
like he was like the role model for like for that sneakerhead in DMV.
Pretty
You know,
much.
like yeah. So
Pretty much, he put everybody on game. He made, I think, in my opinion, he also had the influence on Foamposites too. Like for us,
definitely.
he was
Yeah.
like our, he was like our like, he was like the dude, right? He was like the guy that people looked up to for Foamposites,
Yeah,
right? So eggplants was crazy, and what was even crazier when we saw Wale again came out with the coppers, like the sample coppers.
yeah,
And that was the first time ever like we saw something like a glossy like Foamposite shoe, because
yeah.
like the eggplants were a little bit like matte,
It was dull. Yeah, it was like
was
a
a dull
matte purple joint. Yeah,
but these joints, this straight like a penny copper, bro. Like,
it was cleansed. It was like
oh
shining.
my
Yeah.
goodness. So imagine, right? I mean, I'm not sure, I can't speak for other areas, but in Maryland, DC, and Virginia, people went crazy for the coppers, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you remember the time we camped out too? That was also crazy
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, we camped up for that. For some reason, I don't know how I got the second pair though, to be honest with you.
You doubled
I had
up,
two
right?
pairs. Yeah, I doubled up for those. I don't know how I got it, but I think when we got our pair and then I went to like Sports Zone or something, they're like, oh shit, they still got a pair.
Yeah.
So I had a 10 and a 10 and a half. So I was like, oh shit.
So you still remember my pair? Like every time I get a Foamposite, you know what the problem is, right?
I mean, it's not even just foam posits. It's like almost every shoe. You always get the destroyed box, bro. They always give you the fucked up
Dog,
box.
every time. I swear to
Yeah.
goodness, like RJ was like the witness. Every time, like, because RJ would be first, I'd be second. So RJ got a clean ass box, and that was back then when Nike was downgrading to their boxes, because their thing, you stack them up, they're like flat. You know what I mean? They're flat
Yeah.
as shit,
Yeah.
like a hamburger.
Right.
So like, I don't know, maybe because I have a big feet, I'm a size 12, but every time they pull out my size, it's always the fucked up box.
Yeah, every time, man, like the back joint be all like crunched up, man.
I swear, I think maybe like employees employees probably picked out their pairs and they give me the fucked up box.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like I hear like RJ start laughing. Oh nah, like you
yeah,
got the fucked up box again. Like fuck,
Yeah.
man.
Shit
And I
never
always,
fails, man. It never
bro, I
fails.
always ask like, hey, yo, bro, like you got another, you have another, like another 12. Like, no, it's the last one.
Yeah, they always say that is the last
I'm
pair.
like, man, you lying ass.
Yeah. Now they do that because they don't want to get another
I know,
pair.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, that was like that was a banger ass shoe. It was a crazy ass shoe.
Yeah. Coppers that was fresh, man.
Yeah. So coppers, and then was that 2020 08 09.
Yeah, it was 0809.
So in your opinion, and then we're going to the timeline. What was the craziest Foamposite release ever
Like around that time
of all time?
of all time, shit, it was fucking the
We're
Galaxy.
Galaxy, right? So RJ got
Yeah.
story time. He got story time about about how he got him. So you want to tell him how you got him?
Well, let me tell you the prelude to things. So, Jeremy, who was our guest in his podcast, shout out to Jeremy, man, but we were planning to camp out 2 days before, bro. We are going to PG Plaza, and we were like, all right, we about to camp out for this joint. It was an all-star weekend, right? So we was there standing out the whole day. I think they picked me up at like 12 noon or some shit like that, and it was crazy. And then we're like, all right, we about to do this in 2 days because we did Thursday. We were like, all right, we about to get it Saturday, so we're ready, right? It was crazy. I don't know how we were ready, but we only rolled up there for like we are just clothes, just like what we were wearing that day. We weren't even gonna bring no water or anything like that.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was just one of those things. We're gonna tough it out, but it was wild. But long story short, for anybody that knew, PG Plaza was shut down because it was so much people. It was like people like crossing. I mean, like like cutting lines, and you got like friends of friends just coming in. Just
Oh
what I'm saying, like
shit!
the usual shit that happens in like a long ass line. When it comes to a sneaker release. So, PG County was there, and the whole police he shut everything down.
Wasn't the news on? Was it the new local news too? Right?
Yeah, it happened on a Friday. So we was there. And it happened on a Friday, and then it went into local news because like even in Orlando, what happened in Orlando, that's what made everything shut down because of what happened in Orlando. So it was just a chain effect throughout the East Coast, because I think something happened in Orlando, somebody got stabbed or some shit like that. It was some infamous shit that happened. But yeah, they shut it down, and we all ran, and we just were like, all right, we're just gonna not go. But for me, I went home that day. I think Jeremy, they all stayed. They got all the other all-star shoes. I think he got the Kobe's or some shit like that. Somebody got the Durant joints. But yeah, so I was like, all right. After that, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get this joint because I kept calling PG Plaza, House of Hoops. They were like, yeah, we're gonna release it, but we're not gonna tell nobody when, right?
Oh damn!
So for the whole week, I kept coming back, and I just kept seeing the sign and like, we're gonna drop the shoe, but we're not gonna say when. So just come back. So it was so dumb. I was like, man, I'm not gonna waste my time going here every freaking day, you know. So after a while, I forgot about them. They eventually dropped. They didn't tell nobody. I think that was February. What year was that? I forgot. Was that 2013 or something like that?
Something like that. The Galaxy Pack. Yeah,
Was it 2013 or
I think
2012?
so.
Yeah.
2010. I think.
Oh, 2010.
I think 2010. Like Big
Okay.
Bangs. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All
That
right.
was when LeBron was with the Heat by that time. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
2010. 2010.
All right. So 2010, February
2011-ish.
2010.
Yeah.
I didn't get my pair till about, let's say, October to November, right? Same thing again, man. I was hard on eBay, right? I came across a lot of pairs, and all of them was like 1,200, 1,300, even 1,000, right? So I came across a pair. He had it listed for 1,200. All right. I was like, all right. And I was like, I was the type of dude that didn't really communicate with people first, like, send out your best offer. So I started learning how to, what was it called? Like, pretty much give my
Negotiate.
price. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give my best offer. Right. Because at that time, I don't think eBay had that feature. Maybe they did. I just didn't pay attention. Or I was just not, like, yeah, I wasn't paying attention. But I messaged the dude and I was like, hey, man, what can you do for me? You know what I'm saying? I really want this shoe. I went through hell trying to, pretty much try to get this shoe, and I have a Foamposite collection, and I sent him a picture of my collection. He was like, "Oh, that's very impressive." And this guy was from Auckland, New Zealand. It was crazy.
Good Lord.
It was another overseas purchase.
Shout out to the overseas
Right, Auckland, bro. Like, what's in Auckland, New Zealand?
rugby.
Right. Yeah, it was wild, man. But yeah. So all right, so he had it for 1,200, and then I was like, you know, what can you do for me, man? You know, I really want this shoe, and I'm not trying to pay as much. You know, I don't want to pay the 1,200. Can you give me a good deal? So he was like, all right. We went back and forth, and like I said, I showed him my picture. He was like, hey, man, you know, you got a good collection there going. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to complete every pair. You know, I'm a big fan of foam. So he was like, I can do, I think he said 850 for them. That was a lot.
It is.
That was like a big ass favor, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, hey man, I'll take it. But matter of fact, I'll give you a 900 for them. Just cause.
With the shipping, right?
Yeah, because the shipping was also like $45-$50 again.
Golly.
Yeah, so I was fortunate, man, for like, you know, having those people back then to do that for me. And it was crazy. So I got it for $900, you know. It was shipped to me. It took about probably like 3 weeks because, you know, we had to go through customs, obviously. But that was another accomplishment in my like sneaker career, if you want to call it that again. So, you know, it was great, man. Like I enjoyed it. It was just, you know, hard work just paid off after that. Because I knew I was gonna have to pay a lot. So I saved up for, you know, since that February release date, I was like, I'm just gonna save up for this shoe, you know. And you know, I didn't have a good job at that time, but I was like, anything for for my collection, man, my Foamposite, man. So it was crazy, man. Auckland, New Zealand, and then I guess they had a Nike store there. He had the receipt and everything. It was like Nike Auckland, you know.
Yeah.
So it was weird, man.
Damn.
But hey, man, I was fortunate, man. Like so. I forgot the dude's name, but shout out to that guy, man. Like,
Yeah,
there's,
yeah.
you know, if anybody says there's some good people out here, there's some good people out here. But eventually, now I don't know if you know that
It's
that'll
different
happen
now,
now.
man. It's
Yeah,
different
they'll
now.
hit you in
10
the head.
years later.
Yeah, they'll hit you in the head.
Maybe he
Even
got
if
his
you
own
try to
store
show them
now.
your pictures, they're like, nah.
Like, who the hell is this dude? I don't remember
Yeah.
him selling
I don't
any
care. I don't care
Foamposite for
about your
900.
yeah. I don't care about your collection. But yeah, man, that was great, man. Like I said, I mean, I didn't have to bargain with him. I just said I'm a big fan, man.
Yep.
You know, it was wild. So
Yeah.
I was
You know what?
lucky.
And you know, like that also testaments like how hard you worked for that collection, right? Like you saved your money.
Oh yeah. And
You were smart on where to find your pairs, right?
yeah,
You know, you
yeah,
doubled up. You doubled up on you know, on the ones
yeah.
that you really like. Um, yeah, and then you know and then the fact that you found the coveted shoe that everybody was knocking heads and
Yeah.
people getting killed and people
Yeah.
getting robbed. You know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
those were the most insane shoes. Like there was on the news, like the line from PG Plaza. I think at that time I was already here in California, but of course,
Yeah.
like I was still keeping up with you guys.
Yeah.
That line was insane as far as like how far that line it went. Like I think past the mall, outside of the mall entrance.
Because the way they set us up, it was behind the mall. That's
Yeah.
how yeah. So and it was far as shit.
Yep. And then on top of that, it was brick cold, bro. On a February,
Yeah, it was February. It was cold
like
as shit.
40 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine that, right? You wait how long in line
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to like try to in hopes that you can try to get a pair.
Just hopes to
So
get a pair.
yeah, I mean, luckily, like for you, you know what I'm saying? Like you're able to just, you know, just be yourself and just be honest, like, hey, like I really want this shoe. What can you do for me? And you know, like you had a set budget where you can only, you know, pay what you can pay for and you know, not going above your means.
Yeah.
And then, you know, shout out to you too. Like you actually, you know, you saved up for it. You knew that during that time, all right, this is a Foamposite Galaxy release, the most coveted, most craziest shoe, like, you know, that you're gonna try to get.
Yeah.
And then you were able to, you know, make it happen, man. So props to you, man. Like that was an insane story. Like I knew about the whole New Zealand thing, but I never knew about like what it took for you to like get the shoe 3 weeks here and there. Did you ever wear the shoe?
The Galaxies, I wore it inside. I ain't never wear it outside. That never touched the outside, man.
Damn.
Like I said, I was always the guy, you know, my thing was with sneakers at that time, like if
Yeah.
it was a collection, you know, there's some collections I'll wear, but there's like levels to
Yeah.
what I'm gonna wear, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was always the type that it was gonna be an investment thing
That's damn.
towards the end. But you know, the whole goal pretty much for me being into foam posits was to be called the Foam King. You know, everybody wanted that title,
Yep.
the Foam King. I was like ready to challenge people. I was like, nah, let me see your foam posits. Let
Damn.
me see. No, seriously. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it
yeah.
sounds like douchey, but I was like, nah,
That,
I'm gonna be the Foam King in this area, in our area, in like
yeah.
this Fort Washington, Oxon Hill area.
Yep.
Nobody was gonna touch it. So, but
So I've heard that you were people were trying to compete with you, right? And then of course they were low key hating. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because you had something that no one has.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
From 97 to 2011, you know, you were consistent with every single shoe.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you had Carolina Foamposite Pros that people
Oh yeah,
hated. You
yeah,
had the Vachetta Tan Foamposite Pros
yeah, yeah,
that people didn't like.
yeah,
That sat in like athlete's foot for 49.99. I
yeah,
remember those days, man.
yeah,
You know, so I'm sure, like I said, you collected, the metallic red Foamposites, the Phoenix Sun Foamposites,
yeah.
the fighter jet joints, the camouflage. So
The electro lime joints.
electro lime
I
joints.
don't know. You remember those joints? I got them with Landover, fucking foot
Oh
action,
my god, I think it was
cap
during.
center.
I was it like the Nate Robinson, right? They called
Yeah,
it the Nate
something like that.
Robinson Foamposites when he
Yeah,
had the Foamposite lights.
yeah,
So fast forwarding to the peak of like your collection, just like all things come to an end, right? So you were at a point where you realize, you know what, I think I've already reached my point where, you know I think I'm ready to maybe move on to bigger and better things. So at what point did you realize that it was time for you to just, call it a career with your Foamposite collection?
just seeing like the future releases. What did it for me was the Weatherman joints, the Weatherman, the Safari, and, you know, not knocking to anybody that like them. It was just not my taste. I was more of like, you know, traditional color with the foams not having any designs on them. And you know, like what was the other one? They call it like the period foam posits. It was like white, red, and
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a radar joint. You know what I'm talking about? It was kind of like the Weatherman, but it was like the red
They call
version
it
of
the
it.
menopause foam.
Something
I
like that.
heard that about, yeah.
Yeah, they call it like the period phones. But I mean, you know, like I said, I mean, no knock to the people that like them, but for me, I was just traditional guy, you know. And I could go on with that, like same with the Jordan ones, and you know, that'll be for another time. But you know, with those foams, I was just like, I don't know, man. I can't. The future ain't it right now, man. You know, they're coming up with all these like weird colors, and
Hmm.
so I was like, man, I think it's time to just hang it up, man. I don't think I'm gonna keep up with it anymore. You know, whatever I have, you know, I'm happy with it. I was just content, you know,
Yeah,
because
that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, I think especially at that time, like the whole culture was changing as well too. It was
Hmm.
like going towards a different direction. So I was just like,
Yeah.
all right, it was time. So
Hey,
those
man.
did it for me.
Like I said, like you still have the receipts, which was most important, that you had the memories with your
Oh yeah,
sneakers.
yeah,
I remember like like you wearing like the Volts at a family party.
yeah,
And you're like, damn, like me and
yeah,
Randy are like,
yeah,
damn. And
yeah,
Jeremy like, damn.
yeah.
And then you made it known, like, I think it was cold, but you rolled up your jean sleeves, made sure like, oh no, these ain't the Black Foam Pros.
Nah.
These joints are the Volts. And you're
Yeah.
like, Foam King, you
Yeah,
know?
show you guys show the yellow the Volt Nike check, man, you know.
Exactly. So
So
what was your final count before you call it quits? Like Foamposite Pros, Foamposite Ones total.
I don't know how much, like, you know, I guess the count, just put it that like almost every release from let's say, what was the first new phone positive release? Was it the coppers or was it
Cop.
the
Probably the
all right,
cop.
so from whatever the coppers till either the fighter jets or the camo joints.
Mhm.
That's where I had like I was always consistent with every one
Okay.
of them. So I had every one of those. So I didn't miss a pair at all. And let me tell you one quick story. It was the teal joints, the
Oh,
teal
okay.
Foamposite Pros. It was one of those times where it was like, I didn't cop the joint, right? It was crazy. And I missed out. It was one of those things I missed out on. And like, I couldn't go through the whole day, man. Like I was just like, I can't take this L. So like I tell this to people all the time. Like I went through the whole day just trying to like call all the Foot Lockers, call all the Foot Actions. And I was just so pissed. I missed out in the morning. So I was like, I called and I called. By the time 6 p.m. came, I found a pair and it was like in Mondawin Mall in fucking Baltimore.
Good. Damn, we've been to Mondawin, man.
Yeah, so I drove like an hour just to get my pair, man. I was like, let me get that size 10. And I was like, it was unfamiliar territory for me because I ain't never been up there. And I heard about that area and I was like, I don't know. But I was
That's
like, it's whatever. I'm
yeah,
just copping the shoe, So yeah, that's one of those other stories, a little quick side thing. But
damn, man.
yeah, from coppers to the fighter jets, I had every phone posit. So
You risk your life for those teals.
oh yeah. Put it that way,
Yeah,
yeah.
and your girlfriend, now wife at that time,
Yeah.
thought that that wasn't a smart move at that, like, hey, you
Oh
shouldn't
yeah.
be doing that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
It wasn't smart at all.
Nah.
But
So
like I said, man, I mean, I just couldn't go out with an L. I was like,
yeah.
nah, I gotta complete this joint.
So now that you made your peace with your phone posits, do you still miss your phone pauses, or do you still like, do you still have any phone pauses left?
I'm put it this way, I miss having them, but I don't miss like having them at the same time because like a lot of them and not being able to wear them. And to answer that, I do have one pair now. I'm gonna show them to you. I mean, the only one that matters, to be honest with you, is like the 2011 joints. You know, I mean, I had the 2017, the 20th anniversary, but I sold those. And I got this back again because I was just up and down with a sneaker
Hmm.
game at that time. I was like, I don't know if I should still be in it, or I don't know if So I sold the 2017 one, but I got the 2011 again. So I kind of settled, but I mean, they're all the same, to be honest with you. I mean, I know the 2017 is like the closest one to the OG when it comes to the blue, the tone of the blue. But this is the only pair, man. And it was crazy. Like I was telling Randy the other day, I was like, it was weird because this was the first foam posits, like that I actually wore like the whole day. And I never wore a foam posit like the whole day, like
Not in years, right? Not
not
since
in
like
years.
high school, college.
Yeah, and it just felt weird on my foot, man. Like I was like, oh shit, I forgot how it felt. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
He started
heavy.
to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is the old box. This is the 2011 joints, like the Yeezy box came in this joint, a Nike
Yep.
Yeezy. So, but yeah, man, I mean, the only one that matters, like you even said, you got to have at least one phone posit.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
I'm happy with that, and that's where I kind of like ended everything. But like I said, wearing it was weird, man. But it looks tight on feet, man. To be honest with you.
Hell yeah, shit, bro. Like I think what you I think you went out with your family. You
Yeah,
wore those Orlando Magic
yeah,
like shorts,
yeah.
bro.
Had
I
to,
thought,
man.
yeah, man. I thought you were coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying?
I know, man. I was like getting ready to play, man.
I
My wife
know.
was like, "What you about to play, man? You better come off the bench."
I
I was
know.
like, "Oh shit."
That was a nice fit.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, man. Thanks RJ for sharing. Your phone posit stories. I know a lot of people now. People think phone pauses are dead, but to me, there's still there, like you were saying, there's still a community out there that
yeah,
still love phone pauses. Um, they still collect to this day, and I think what we always talk about, right, is we'll always have, when we see a shoe, we'll always talk about the memories we have with the shoe.
yeah, yeah,
Like you always saying, like when you sell a shoe, you want to pass on those memories to the the people that owns them now.
yeah,
It's kind of like, what I'm saying, like Andy from Toy Story, right? He gives his toys away to the little girl because
yeah,
he outgrew them, kind of thing.
yeah,
Damn,
yeah,
I went Toy Story there to phone posits. So yeah, man, I think this is a great segue to to appreciate like you've done what you've done for the DMV. as far as like you put your name as like, hey, like RJ is the guy that got the foams, you know, like Nike Talk knew who you were, Soul Collector knew who you were, you know, people from the area knew who you were, but you stayed humble. But you know what I'm saying? Like you did it like, oh, I'm wearing a foam posit like every day. You know when to wear them when they least expect it.
Yeah.
And that was the trend back then. It's always like people don't want to buy stuff, you know, and then wear it the next day. You want to, it's a flex. Like you keep it where people least expect it.
Yeah. Of course.
You know,
Yeah.
family parties. Like damn.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to, man. You know, that was just like for me at least, that was the mindset back then. I was like, you know, you wait till everybody wear their
Yep.
shit out, you
There
know,
you
till the
go.
release day, and then you just bring them
Exactly.
out.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, plus, I mean, why would I wear a foam posit every day? Like I have so many other
Yep.
collections. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Exactly. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's yeah, this series, you know, me and RJ were just brainstorming. I think it's this story time segment. I think that will definitely bring, you know, kind of like you feel like damn, like bringing you back right to like where
Yeah.
how it was before. So, you know, we'll definitely have more segments like these, especially, you know, RJ will bounce it off me because there's certain stuff that I like, you know, near and dear to my heart,
Yeah.
you know, Jordan 11s, um, you know, the sneakers that I caught, you know, when I was
Yeah.
working. I also worked at Popeyes too, you
Yeah.
guys. There
Yes,
was no
sir.
shame. There was no shame to that,
Yes, sir.
you know. And that, you know, having that job gave me the opportunities to buy sneakers because, you know, parents won't just they won't just give you like money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you had to earn it. You have to
Yeah.
earn it yourself. So that's why you had to get a job. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
also,
man.
man, I just don't want to leave this out too. As far as like those blue foam posits that I have, I actually had like all the other pairs of like the versions of it too. You know, the 2007 House Hoops, the 2011 joints, and then the 2017. And there was another pair. I forget, it was a 2007 one, I think. No, there was like,
The orange box, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a '07, but there was like a House of Hoops one. I don't know what year was it, but
I think it's like '08.
yeah,
It came
yeah,
out in like a different box.
yeah,
Something like
something
that.
like that. But
Yeah.
yes, and then I had the '97s for a short period of time. But you
Them
know,
things were talking, man. If you still
yeah,
own those, them
yeah, it
things.
was talking, but
Yep.
I was like,
You
it was
got
just
to.
something to keep. It's
You
just
had to.
something to keep.
Exactly.
Um, Also another thing, the Tim Duncan foams. I mean, I know those is not part of this a little bit, but there were also foam posits, so
Yep.
I kind of want to include those in there. I
Of
had that
course.
too.
Yep.
I
Yep.
had the
I
98.
remember. I
Yeah,
remember.
I had the 98 joints, and then I had the silver, and then the white and the all black joints.
The
So
anthracite black joints. You even had the
yeah,
brown ones too, didn't you?
yeah.
And the
I just
Carolina
didn't have the
ones.
Carolina ones because
Oh, you didn't?
Carolina one was a little tough to wear. So even though I
Yeah.
saw them with clearance, I was like, nah, I don't think I can rock these.
No, I seen those on clearance too. Like, you know, when you're in that certain age and you wear like that baby blue. Baby
Yeah,
blue wasn't like really hitting around this area, man.
yeah. I mean, it's different now with the Jordans. You know, all the
Yeah,
Carolina.
Carolina stuff is cool, but
Yeah, it's wild now, but
people will think of you differently. You wear that baby blue. We
yeah,
didn't even call it Carolina blue, man. It's baby blue. You wearing those
it's
baby
baby
blue
blue.
shoes,
Yeah, the
bro?
baby blue foams.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
wearing those white and baby blue six lows, bro?
right.
You know,
It's baby blue, man. Not
like come
college,
on,
not
man.
not UNC blue. It's baby blue.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, just a little. I threw that in there, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, man. We definitely yeah. Thanks for definitely sharing you know those sneaker history of like foam posits, foam
yeah, man.
posit max, foam posit light, you know, half cents, all the royal foams, you know. And like I said, you know, hopefully our listeners will, if they've ever owned a foam posit in their life, maybe this is something that you may have reminisced the
Yeah,
time that you copped it. Maybe you got it as, you know, you copped it with your hard-earned money, got it as a gift.
yep,
Maybe you copped it as the last size, like on the, on the on display on eBay. So
yeah,
definitely, yeah, man, that was crazy. Like all the stuff that you were talking about. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the whole goal with everything was just, just being able to collect a lot of things, and
yep,
I was just determined, man. It was just a
yeah,
lot of determination to, not, like being humble at the same time, but I wanted that
exactly,
title
exactly.
because, for somebody that didn't really grow up with like a lot of Jordans, I was like, I had to make some type of name of myself.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yep.
Like, I was like, let me go ahead and start with the Foamposite. So that
And
was my goal.
you did,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, and proud of your collection. Be proud of the collection, and
Yeah, I was.
be proud
Yeah.
of the things that you went through to get them. And
Yeah.
when when you moved on, and now you have your just one pair. I think it kind of comes full circle that hey,
Yeah.
been there, done that.
Yeah.
I still love it, but
Yeah.
I just don't show it as like as a collector. But I can talk to about it all day.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's
Like
like this.
all the stuff we
Those
went
are
through.
like your kids, man. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I
you
mean,
have a
we I could also go on like a story on like how I got rid of them, but it's like it's for another time. I mean,
yeah.
it's just like
That might be too emotional, man. I don't want you to
yeah.
get teary up because
I mean, I'll tell you what though. There's one dude that bought like 6 pairs from me, so I'll just put it that way.
yeah. And I'm sure you made a good amount of amount of
Oh,
money back.
definitely, definitely.
So we're definitely gonna leave it there,
Yeah,
as a closing.
yeah,
So it's up to people to try to think about like what that amount is. So yeah, man, thanks RJ for this, for sharing your stories. And we definitely gonna do more segments like these where we'll have story time. Kind of sounds kind of corny, but it's a story time. Like we're just
yeah.
I'm just listening to the person.
I
You
mean, it's
know
just one of those things that we, like you said, man. Like before we even started this podcast, it's just what we talk about on the phone all the time.
exactly.
It's just how we talk.
Yep. This is how we
Yeah.
talk, and that's why we're this is the platform for us to share it. So all
Yeah.
right, guys. So thank you so much for listening to our podcast of episode 34. So just remember to subscribe to our YouTube, and also our Apple Podcast, and we're also on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Yep.
Yep.
So you can find us on Dandin underscore RJ podcast
Machismo
on
podcast. Yeah.
Machismo podcast on Instagram,
Yep.
and also the Dandin underscore RJ Machismo podcast. We also have our page
YouTube.
for those. Yep, YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna continue to get more, get more like good content for you guys. So thank you so much for listening to us. So this is Dandin.
It's RJ Machismo, guys.
All right, guys. You have a good night.
Alrighty.